I want to go back. I haven't. Yeah, I guess I did wrap it up. There's one other point that I need to make on this Jane Mayer 15,000-word piece. If you're just joining us, the left has decided they need to rehabilitate Christopher Steele. And the effort has begun with a 15,000-word article in the New Yorker by Jane Mayer, who has written books trying to do great damage at Clarence Thomas. She has tried to do great damage at the TV show 24 and its creators for inspiring torture at Club Gitmo and Abu Ghraib. She also did a Seek and Destroy book on the Koch brothers. And now she's out with this massive article rehabbing Christopher Steele. And she makes an assertion in this story that Donald Trump wanted Mitt Romney as his Secretary of State, but that Vladimir Putin put the kibosh on it because Putin has blackmailable data on Trump. In other words, she is claiming that Trump is essentially a sleeper agent for Putin, for Russia, or that he is under Putin's thumb, that Putin helped Trump get elected, Putin has blackmailable information, and that Putin didn't want Romney anywhere near the Secretary of State position. As though Trump was ever going to pick Romney. But anyway, that's beside the point. The way to kind of nuke this, the story lays claim to the fact that Putin's real concern with Romney was that he was going to slap sanctions on Ukraine and other related Russian satellites, and that Putin wanted no part of that. And so Putin insisted that Trump not put Romney in that position so as to avoid these sanctions. Well, okay, let's look at Trump administration policy in that regard. Are you aware that Donald Trump has kept the sanctions on Russia over, it's actually Russian sanctions over what they did in Ukraine? Trump has not lifted the sanctions on Russia over Putin's mistreatment of Ukraine. The sanctions are still there, and Romney was never Secretary of State. So if the story is true that Putin nixed Romney because he didn't want any sanctions on Russia over Ukraine, then why are there still sanctions? And why hasn't Putin released the blackmailable information on Trump? This is all so much BS. But, you know, the problem with all of it remains the same old problem. And it ties in with what I was just saying about education, how we don't have much of that going on anymore. We don't. Recent graduates of universities are not critical thinkers. They're sponges. They just soak all this stuff up. Social media just soak all this stuff up. So this Jane Mayer piece gets heralded and celebrated all throughout the drive-by media. And a bunch of sponges all over the country soak it up and believe it to be true. It won't be long before you're going to be able to take your camera out on the street and ask your average, ordinary, college-educated millennial, do you think Trump did not name Romney because Putin warned him not? Oh, yeah, absolutely. I saw it in the news. Without any stopping to literally, critically think about it.